So, have you ever found yourself wondering why a perfectly designed, expensive solar power system just dies after a week of cloudy weather? Well, it's probably not because the panels are bad. It's actually about a hidden flaw in how most of us even think about solar power. And you know what? The rainy season is an expert at bringing that flaw right to the surface. All right, let's get into it. This quote right here, it absolutely hits the nail on the head. See, most systems are built for this ideal, picture-perfect world, but they have to live in the real one. And it's this silent failure that we're going to unpack. I'll show you exactly how it happens, and more importantly, how you can stop it. Okay, so first things first, let's tackle the biggest misconception out there, what I like to call the sunny day myth. This is the idea we're all sold, that solar is simple and the ratings on the panels tell you the whole story. But that picture, well, it's dangerously incomplete, especially when the weather decides not to cooperate. Look at this. On the left, you've got the expectation, the simple view. Lots of sun equals lots of power, easy peasy. But on the right, that's the reality, especially in cloudy climates. It's full of these hidden risks that can creep up on you. We're talking chronic undercharging, which slowly just strangles your battery. Then there's sulfation, which can permanently wreck it. And all the while, the system's own inverter is just quietly sipping away at that precious power. These are the things that lead to that sudden, out-of-nowhere failure. And that, of course, brings us to the rainy season. Now, this isn't just about getting a little less sun. Oh no, it's a totally different energy environment, one that introduces a slow, silent, and relentless drain on your entire system.
What's really fascinating is how the sunlight itself changes. It's not just that there is less of it. The light becomes diffuse, scattered everywhere by the clouds. It's intermittent, it flickers on and off. And its intensity, its actual power just plummets. For a system that was designed for bright, direct sunshine, this kind of unstable, low-quality light is, well, it's a total nightmare.
All of this creates the real villain of our story, a daily energy deficit. Think of it like this. Every single cloudy day, your system is spending more energy than it's making. It's going into debt. Now, this doesn't cause an instant shutdown. No, it's sneakier than that. It creates an energy debt that just builds up, day after day after day. Let me show you what that actually looks like. So, let's imagine you're starting out after a really nice sunny spell. On day 1, you wake up, and your batteries are at a beautiful, healthy 100%. Everything's running perfectly, you wouldn't suspect a thing. But then, just a couple of cloudy days roll by. And look what's happened. The system just hasn't had the juice to fully recharge. You're now starting your day at 75%. Now, your lights are still on, everything seems fine, but your energy savings account, it's already taken a serious hit. Fast forward to day 7. After a full week of nothing but gray skies, the situation it's critical. You're waking up with only 30% battery. The system might still be running, but believe me, it is hanging on by a thread. That accumulated deficit has pushed it right to the edge of total collapse. So what happens next? Well, that final shutdown, it's not some random event. It's actually the very last domino to fall in a predictable chain reaction that really began days ago. Let's walk through this domino effect. First, the usable power from your panels just collapses. Then the MPPT charge controller, that's the brain that optimizes solar input, it starts to panic, hunting all over for a stable power point, and its efficiency drops. Third, that energy deficit we talked about really starts draining the battery bit by bit. Now here's the kicker. As the battery voltage drops, the inverter has to pull more current to power your stuff, which, ironically, drains your already low battery even faster. And then, finally, the 5th domino falls. System collapse. The inverter gives up, and everything just goes dark.
Okay, so that's the problem. It's a little scary, right? But the good news is this is totally preventable. You see, surviving the clouds isn't really about having bigger panels. It's all about having a smarter, safer, and way more resilient system design. So what does that look like? Well, here are the absolute essentials. You need a properly set low-voltage cutoff. This is non-negotiable for protecting your batteries. You need the right fuses on both the DC and AC sides. You have to use high-quality, moisture-proof connectors. And maybe the most important thing you can do, practice conservative load management. When the sun's not out, you just have to use less power. It's that simple. This right here is so important to understand. Because when you're in a long, cloudy spell, a system that's still running gives you this false sense of security.
But as we've just seen, the real damage, that energy deficit, is happening silently, right behind the scenes. And that leads to this really powerful, kind of counterintuitive idea. The real danger zone, the time when you're risking permanent battery damage, is in those final hours before the system shuts down, when it's being drained to its absolute limit. The shutdown itself, that's actually the system trying to save itself. So, to really, truly fix this problem for good, we have to basically shift our entire perspective. A solar setup isn't just a pile of parts with watt ratings slapped on them. It's something much more alive, much more dynamic than that. The crucial mindset shift is to start seeing your setup as an energy ecosystem. What does that mean? It means you stop obsessing over the peak output of a panel on one perfect sunny afternoon, and you start focusing on the overall balance of energy in your system over days and even weeks. It's all about managing the flow, the storage, and the use of energy through constantly changing conditions. So let's just put these two mindsets side by side. The old way, it's all about panel watts, single-day performance, ideal conditions. But the new way, the ecosystem way, that's all about system balance, the multi-day deficit, and most importantly, about real-world survival. So you got to ask yourself, which mindset was your system designed with? And that really brings us to the final, ultimate takeaway here. The clouds and the rain, they aren't the enemy. They're just the test. They are what reveals whether a system was designed for the fantasy world of a sales brochure or for the reality of our planet's actual weather. A truly robust system isn't designed for the best days. It's designed for the worst. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. What part of this whole rainy season problem surprised you the most? Was it that silent creeping drain, the domino effect of the system collapsing? Or maybe that wild idea that a system that's still on could actually be on the verge of failure? Really thinking about that is the very first step toward building a solar system that doesn't just work, but one that actually survives.